Hi, I'm Scotty. I service, repair and restore vintage and antique mechanical clocks. Welcome to Scotties Clock World.
In this video we start to put the movement back together again.
Going spring out of its bag. Being cleaned and greased, ready to go. What we've got to do is we've got to increase that length there. Similar to that length there, so we can fit the springs into the movement. And we put it onto the winding arbor. Tighten that up. Put the clamp on the bottom. And then start winding the spring up. It's slipping, so I'm going to have to tighten up the spring where it sits on the winding arbor. To do that, we use a pair of pliers like so. Take the spring out of the spring winder. We take our pliers, push them into the first loop like so. Then holding the spring tight, we wind it round and have a look. That's a little bit tighter, I think. Right, we'll do that again. What we're doing is we're making the diameter of that hole there a bit smaller, so that it will catch on the knob on the winding arbor, which is there. The winding arbor back in again. Put it into our spring winder. We'll see if that's made any difference. Start winding the spring up. Spring is, the winding arbor is slipping in the machine. Continue winding the spring up so we can put clamp on the bottom to hold it. Right, it's a savage spring, that thing. That's 2 pairs of gloves down the drain. What we've got to do now, we've got to put the clamp on to retain it, to retain the power of the spring. But when we put it on, we normally, a clamp goes about there, 1.5 to 2 inches from the end. This time we're going to have to put it inside like that to give us a big loop to be able to fit it back into the movement. So we'll wind it down a bit more. That now fits on, which is where it would normally go, about there. What we've got to do now is push it further up. So we'll push the spring out. So I get the, there we go. And I've now, as you can see, pushed the mainspring clamp from here round to there. Now we'll reverse the flow of the winder, holding the spring so it doesn't jump out. And there we have it. Finally, after all that drama. Take the winding arbor out. There we have it. Complete with a second set of chopped up gloves. Well, it's time to start putting the movement back together again. All the brass parts have been cleaned in an ultrasonic cleaner. The springs have been taken apart on the winder. They've been cleaned with kerosene and re-greased and wound up again, clamped down with a mainspring clamp. As you can see, they're sitting here. So we'll start to put the movement back together again. Going side first. We'll put this first wheel in. Push that in a bit, it's down underneath there. It's a bit tricky to get in there. That's got him. Now over to the strike side. The first wheel in. Turn it up again, I think. Slide it in under there. First wheel. Now put the top plate on. That wheel there, that has a gathering pallet on it. Once we put that back in again, sits in that hole there, and these wheels up here are going to be caught up on that if we put them in now. So we'll probably have to put the plate on and then put them in one at a time. So we'll give that a try and see how it goes. We can hold the springs together long enough. Okay, top plate on. Looking better. It's still loose, right? I'll put a nut on that post there. That'll hold it. Going side train, put a nut on there. That should at least hold the springs in, so we can have a look and see what we're doing. Now those springs are seriously strong. So put the first wheel on the going side in there and align that post Put a nut on it. It's held in, that's all right. Wheel goes in there. Get that one in first by the look of it. It's way down there. These massive big springs don't make it easy to get parts to go where they're supposed to go. Last thing we want to do is snap a pivot off one of these wheels. A little bit, tiny bit more, and that's it in there. Right, naturally that's come out, put that in there. Put a nut on that to hold it. Now we can have a look and see what we've got in here. It's resting on the pin that holds it. First wheel, the going side. First wheel on the strike side. Right. Now we're going to put the other wheels in one at a time.